Is it working? Hello everyone. Woohoo! How are we all doing? It's been a little while since I did a live on my own. Oh, that's a stupid thing to do. How are we on this fine 1st of May? It was 28 degrees here in Manchester earlier. I don't know why that is a thing. So who have we got? Hello Noah, hello Darkstar, hello Jenny, hello Aaron, and anybody else, if there is anybody else out there, welcome as well. This is a possibly quick video. Yeah, it is a bit warm. I finished work early. I have coffee, and there's something I need to tell you about that. You know about my issues this week. Something has happened which has put me in a good mood. Hey William, how you doing, buddy? 24. Oh, you see, Manchester's even got better weather than Birmingham. This is bizarre to me. It's dropped to 22 now. So, yeah, this is, in theory, going to be a quick video. Theory being the key word. I'm going to talk a bit about what I read last month. Some plans for this month, because I have some exciting bits and pieces, but I can't tell you everything. And then, depending on how I feel, I might build a D&D character live for a D&D game that I'm playing with Noah at the end of the month. Because I know Elaine's not here. She's finally able to go outside now. Neighbours have finished hacking at things. So she's enjoying a little bit of the, I'd say sunshine, but probably not quite from what she said. But we were talking about art in D&D books, so I have my plethora of D&D books next to me. So, first off, how is everyone doing other than those in the UK melting at the moment? Also, William, how are you getting on with all that stuff? The stuff you dropped the other week from your story time that you dropped, is it all sorted now? So last month, how do buttons work? Now that is a question. Let's pop that there. Let's pop that there. I have too many tabs and I don't have my second screen. Ugh. Right, hang on, that's a stupid thing to do. Don't do that. Right, go away. I don't need to see that. Right, go there. There we go. We're getting there slowly. So, hopefully this has remembered what it's meant to be saving. It has. Okay. Happy days. Too many tabs, no such thing. I mean, by my standards, this is a lot, and I'm a man and can't multitask. How are you, Margaret? You okay? Waiting for an oil change. Oof. 28 degrees, Margaret, and people say global warming isn't a thing. It's 28 degrees in Manchester at the start of May. It is a lot of tabs. It's the books that I've read. So I'm going to try and press something. There we go. Okay, so stats first off. Let's get the boring stuff out of the way. We'll ignore that bit because that's bollocks. This has been my worst month in terms of pure reading of pages for a little while. I'm about 500 pages behind my yearly target now. Something like that. I've lost it again. Where's it gone? There. Let's put that over there so I can actually see. It is. I've not even played video games. That's the really depressing thing. I am going to blame work and stress, however. We will touch in on stress a little bit later, though. So, unusually, not much that's dark, but plenty that's adventurous, so quite normal. Most of it's been medium. That's nonsense because it hasn't transferred everything over correctly. But, as you can see, another fantasy-heavy month. A little bit of sci-fi. Don't know what the second romance is. Where are my eyebrows? They're on my head. Like, they're there. I have pale hair. All is, well, wifey's looks like go on the baby. I hope they can return to the homeland next week. Fingers crossed, buddy. Fingers crossed. 14 and overcast. That's what we normally are. Just because you dye your ginger eyebrows, Noah, you don't need to call me out, okay? So it's saying I've got two. Oh, okay, yeah, Paladin's Grace was a romance. Okay, that makes sense. Largely read digital. Did I read 3 audios? I didn't look through this beforehand, so... Yes, I did. I did. Average rating of 3.97. Lowest being a 3.5. Highest being a 4.5. One of those might eke up a little bit. And as you can see, my reading was all over the place. A lot more at the start of the month in terms of listening, and then a few peaks and troughs. This does not include an audiobook I'm listening to now because I haven't updated Storygraph yet. So, what did we actually read this month? So first off, and I know I've chucked this to Noah now, and I know Aaron's been reading it. We have Spectral Solutions by Mark Anthony Walter, which is... Let me just disappear that so we can see what I'm doing, which is this one. The way I'm going to describe it now doesn't sound great, but bear with me. It's kind of fan fiction, which fan fiction quite often gets a really, really bad rap. But this is kind of if you take Ghostbusters and put it in London. And this is very much a love letter to Ghostbusters franchise, but with slightly different characters set in the UK, slightly different histories as well. I thought this was a lot of fun. I was kindly given this by the author. I actually have the next one as well, Elemental, which I will be reading next month, but we'll get onto that later on. Am I still... Yeah. So basically, something occurred a number of years ago. There's this massive monolith. Some people tried to stop it. It's certainly... Yes. Please do that. I need friends. More friends. All the friends. Need many things. And so ghosts have now become a very much a everyday occurrence here. So yeah, there we go. Aaron's read them both. I've only read book 1. I like to leave a bit of a gap. I'm not one of those people that reads a full series at once. I like to leave a gap. I really liked it. It was just good fun. I mean, the other thing as well is it does translate really well, like British conversation. It is aimed at a younger audience, so no swearing. There's a lot of flips in there, literally. And it's really we're not getting into AI again. I'm gonna burn computers at this rate. Yeah, I saw that AO3 and a lot of other sites have been pulled and scraped as well now for AI training. Wonderful. But yeah, really, really good fun. I also did a reading this month, which is from Mark's upcoming short story collection, which is currently available on Wattpad. So I did do a reading from that, which was a lot of fun. I was not 100% sober when I did it. I hope that didn't come through. But I thought this was pretty good. I gave it 4 stars. Mark has said they get better the further you go. So there we go. If you like Ghostbusters, you will love Spectral Solutions. And it's worth mentioning as well, and I should have probably done this beforehand, but, you know, let's not be too organised here. Spend too much time organising myself in work. That's what that is. Mark does have a YouTube channel where he does have... Please don't transpose that over everything. Where is it? What's he under? There it is. Where, first off, he does have a full audio version of Spectral Solutions on there. First off. Just going to put that in there if you want to go check him out. He also has music videos. He is an ex-DJ, so not particularly surprising that music plays a big role. Emma Bennett has a good video update for a UK lawsuit for authors that's happening. Yeah. Interesting to see how that plays out, because in some ways, UK law is a bit of a mess right now around that, in a way that it really doesn't need to be. But, you know, they are determined to make the UK a AI powerhouse. Which I learned today that they expect AI in Manchester Island to be worth up to, the companies around here, they've increased their value 5-fold in the last 4 years. And they're expecting, because this is the biggest like area outside of London in terms of AI in the UK, which kind of makes sense. And they expect it to be worth about £30 billion in the next 5 years, which worries me a little bit. No, there's policies. They seem to be a lot friendlier towards AI. So there was some stuff a couple of months back which was a little bit worrying. But yeah, that's Spectral Solutions. It came out back end of last year. Book 2's out as well. And the short story collection is on the way. And I know Mark has a lot of plans for it. So yeah, let's stick to the books. Speaking of books, I then finally, a little bit behind, although I think I was the first to finish it, weirdly. We're continuing the Wheel of Time read along. So I'm listened once again this time round. This time, The Great Hunt. Actually narrated by Rosamund Pike this time, who's obviously in the series. She does an amazing job with the narration. She did with number 1. She has with number 2. I prefer her narration to the original narrator as well. Possibly because I've seen her play Moraine on screen. Yeah, I'm only like 2 months behind on the Wheel of Time read along, but then again, so is everybody else, so that's perfectly fine because it's quite a relaxed read along this time around. It's been a long time since I reread The Great Hunt, and it's still really good, but a few things really stuck out this time. I'm going to do more of a video later on this month about books 1 and 2. And without, in case anyone drops into the chat, some things in this are really good, especially with foreshadowing, but the pacing is all over the show. And it's something I never really picked up on before, but this has some long lulls. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because of the amount of world building that Robert Jordan does. And that's one of the things with Wheel of Time. It is very detail orientated to an absurd degree. But yeah, it's still very good. 4 stars. It's not the best in the series, but I mean, I love Wheel of Time. So I we'll see. Because I think that audiobook was 28 hours. I think I'm hitting the Dragon Reborn next month. This month. We're in May now. Which is when they really start to pick up. And then obviously then it's book 4, which I think is a 38-hour audiobook. And unless I'm mistaken, I think that's the point that Pike has got to with the re-recording of the narration. So I'll probably switch back to reading at that point. But decent time, decent book, very uneven. It did, however, this time round, I disliked Rand less in this than I did in the previous book. Possibly could have spent more time with him. Okay, so Brandon Sanderson finished The Wheel of Time. Robert Jordan died before it was completed, and his widow selected someone to continue and finish the series. Hey up, you alright? How are you? How are all the things? Just totally forgot what I was saying now. Yeah. Yeah, so Sanderson wrote... He was meant to complete, I think it was 1 book. It ended up being 3 that he wrote. Was it 2? It ended up being 2. He ended up writing... No, 3. It was 3. I'm not going daft. He ended up writing 3 because he couldn't finish it off in time. In the space he wanted to. I did a decent job, to be fair. It's not difficult taking on someone else's work when they're already 11 books through a series. But initially it was Robert Jordan. So it was based on Jordan's notes and sort of his plan out as well from the beginning. So don't forget to press buttons. Always as Em says, to stay hydrated. My chat isn't showing something. I might need to wander into the other chat in a minute. Okay. But really good. Again, a bit long in the tooth in places though. So next up, I actually did a library book, which is very odd for me. I listened to Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman. I cannot remember who the narrators were for it. which I normally have that written down. I thought it'd say on there, but apparently not. It was okay. I think this is interesting in that I don't think it works as well as the graphic novels. And I don't know if it'd be the same just for the novella, because it was only like a couple of hours long. It did still catch the feeling of the relationship that Nick and Charlie are going through, and some of the friction they had with them, not so much parting ways, but one going to college and one having to stay behind. And the narration was overall solid. I think Charlie's narration was better out of the two, but there was nothing wrong with either of them. It was just a preference thing. But because you don't have the visual element as well, it doesn't quite click the same, if that makes sense. And I think when I spoke about Heartstopper, what really elevated it was how all the different elements work together with the art style, the dialogue, and the story in general actually all helped each other out and actually raised it, making it better than some of its parts. And I think in a strange way this showed that a little bit. Still worth listening to. If you're a fan of Heartstopper, you'll probably absolutely love it. I suspect I'm on the lower end of the spectrum with this one. I gave it a 3.5, which is obviously rounded to 4, which definitely sets me as a bit of an outlier with its average at 4.14 over on Goodreads. But solid enough. I am excited for the last book. I'm not sure when it's out, though. Well, I'm saying the last. I'm pretty sure the next one is the last one in the Heartstopper series. So... And this is where we start hitting the indies. We like indie books here. If you don't read indie books, why not? Please read indie books and support your, if you have them nearby, your independent bookstores as well. I know it was Independent Bookstore Day in the US recently, which Amazon tried to torpedo spectacularly. But, yeah, worth mentioning that here. Right, I just want to see why I can't see what that is, because it's annoying me. Give me a second. Go to there. Because something's just bugging me because I can't see what it is. I don't like not being... That's not what I want. I don't like not being able to see what things are. I want that one. There we go. And that one. And it's on silent, so that's good. Okay, let's just maximize that for a minute. Yeah. That's why. It's because it... Right, I get it now. Hello, Mark. It just showed as M, and I thought I was going really, really, really stupid. Jeez, it doesn't take much. It's because I've got everything on small screens. So that's Nick and Charlie. We've spoken about Spectro. Touched on that already. I know, in case you weren't here earlier, Aaron's finished them both now. So, and I've actually chucked Spectro at Noah as well, who should be reading it because he needs cheering up. So, don't you, Noah? The heat it's so warm. Look at me, I'm a human milk bottle. I should not have to exist in 28 degrees heat. Right. Next. Is it still doing what I want it to do? That's the question. Yes. Okay. The Old Stratagem Part 2 Aurora. A set of words I cannot say because I don't like the letter R. Noah. Down. Okay. I know you've been a good boy today, but no. Rolled up newspaper time. You're not allowed more Coke. Or anything else that you keep adding to it either. I know what you've been doing. So, you should stick with water like I am now. So, this is a sequel to Slave Ship, which I enjoyed quite a lot. It's only 215 pages long. I haven't recorded my review for this yet. I was meant to have done it by now, but as we'll get onto later, it has been a month. You're not a mermaid. I know you're not a mermaid. You are a crab. And you should be proud of that. And if you went outside, you would be the... I've just got cramp. Fuck. And if you went outside, you'd be the same colour as your crab costume. So maybe don't go outside. And your crab is also ginger, so... There we go. So this is a direct continuation from book 1. And the writing holds up. It's, again, very, very good military sci-fi, especially if you like TV sci-fi. Especially something like Battlestar Galactica, which is what this reminds me of the more, and even like the cover art a little bit. That does remind me of what Galactica looks like. The 2000s remake, which I absolutely love. If I was to have a criticism, it felt like this could have been one book. So, if you grew up watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, or sorry, if you grew up watching The Next Generation or Voyager or any of those shows, and they had a 2-parter, you'd always have at the start of the second episode, last time on Star Trek: The Next Generation, narrated by Marjol Roddenberry. And then you'd have now the conclusion. And this felt exactly like that. I could actually almost hear it in my head, because where the last one took off would have been the ending of like the ending of a TV episode. And David's spoken about this, a lot of inspiration came from things like Babylon 5, Star Trek, stuff like that. And it is an amazingly good story. It's also surprisingly dark, which feels a bit obvious mentioning that book 1 is Slave Ship, but this actually does deal with the consequences of their actions. A few things in here. Do the good guys win? Do the bad guys get their comeuppance? I think you should read it and find out, because I absolutely love this. This is another one that was very kindly given. David is a great guy. Love book 1 and 2. I can't wait to see what he's working on. I agree, they're really, really good. I think this is my first... Is it my first? Yeah, I think this is my first... No, it's not, actually. I don't normally read military anything, specifically. Military sci-fi even less. But I really liked this, and it's not the only military sci-fi I read this month. I gave this... Did I give it 3.75 or did I give it 4? Might have been a 3.75. Oh no, I gave it 4. Because it effectively closes out the story. It does leave enough of a hook for further stories to be told, even if it doesn't necessarily involve those characters as well. So I cannot wait to see what David has up his sleeve next for us. The other military sci-fi, which I read straight after, Special Delivery by Rex Burke. Now, Rex very kindly joined me on the channel. I've not rated it. Let's correct that now. 4.5 stars out of 5. This is maybe my favourite Rex Burke book. Noah just getting dunked on in the chat as normal. So, speaking of military sci-fi, when I said I was really excited for this, David very kindly told me that he'd already had a copy and it was amazing, because I'd read like the first chapter, because the first chapter had been dropped as like a sneak peek. I got to speak to Rex the day that this launched. It actually launched a day earlier than I thought it was. This has a number of the hallmarks of Rex's books so far. I discovered Rex last year, and I very quickly read all of Rex's books. You've got the Odyssey Earth series, which is incredible. Go Team Pool. The Wrong Stop, and Third Lock from the Sun as well. And if you sign up to his website, you do get, I think it's called First Date, which is got a prequel short story to Odyssey Earth as well. And what Rex was saying was he sent like an early copy to David, and David went, "That's not how the military works." And he had to rewrite a load of it. I literally have nothing to do, so I have to dunk. My phone gave up, so wait till a new one. Until then, I'm happy to dunk. What? Okay. Oh, okay. That took me a second. I read military while read, Jesus. Why do we spell it the same way? Dunk, as in dunk on you, Noah, as in, haha, it's Noah. I've got a picture of you in my book in a minute, which I'll show everyone in a minute when we get to the D&D bit. Yeah. This has a bit of a Starship Troopers vibe in terms of humour, as in the movie. And all Rex's books do have that sort of banter that go on between the characters, which is kind of what sells it for me. And I'm not using his picture right. Before this gets completely out of Jesus. Page 35. Oh, I can't do that. That's right. I'll find another picture because that doesn't work. Hang on. Hang on. You're a pretty flower, my foot. Where are they? Oh. Yeah. Where's G in the alphabet? Oh, well, I can't show it. There's no male gnomes in the manual that I can see, unfortunately. Yeah, anyway, I got sidetracked. So you have the main character of Dix, who is literally, at the end of the thing, they are called Major Dix. Take that as you will. And a group of others are sent on a covert mission because they're all expendable to smuggle a weapon through to a planet who is under control by a hostile power, basically. And obviously, nothing is as it seems, as it all goes horribly, horribly wrong. I really like this because it balances more the dark and the funny tone in a way that really, really works for me. I know this is the first sort of darker leaning book that Rex has done, and this is certainly the most bloodthirsty, as you would expect, because it's more military based. And it doesn't pull any punches. But what I was really aware of going through this one this time is, you mean you're always on your knees, Noah? Come on, behave. Not for me. You probably say that. Jesus. Anyway. Tell you what, that local truck stop. Never been so popular. Anyway. I digress. So, someone go take some water to Noah, please. I think he needs like a dog spray or something. But yeah, something that Rex brought up, which I'd never picked up on in his books, and this is a highlight of how good the dialogue is in his books, is that he doesn't really go into the world building aspect too much. He'll just drop the slightest thing. He doesn't even describe what the characters look like. Don't forget, Noah, a normal size drink for everybody else is a large for you, yeah? So, it's a good job I've seen him today and been nice and bought him cake, innit? So you have this thing where it's so dialogue led in terms of the world building that it builds the picture yourself. So everyone's reading experience will probably be quite different with this. And being aware of that going, I started looking for the world building, and it's not there, not in quite the same way that you see in a lot of other books. And I actually find that a fascinating way to write a book, to be so heavily dialogue led, especially when something that because I'm a fantasy reader by nature, I tend to really, really like proper deep world building. That's why I love Wheel of Time so much. And to have not noticed it in any of his previous 5 books because the dialogue is so good, I have to say that is just spectacularly good. So, next, this is my next review that's up on the channel, which was going to go up today, but it's not. Now it's going up tomorrow. Is Bound by Blood by Sean David Brink. This is another one that I know Aaron has read, and I know Elaine over at Bookworm read it as well. Sean very kindly sent me a copy of this one. Christian horror, and it's decent. Now, I don't know what it is with this one, because I've read this and I read Pets for Legion back in December by Sean, which I really, really liked. Again, another Christian horror. Something with this just doesn't quite click. And I'm wondering if a lot of that is because of my religious apathy, for want of a better term, sort of rearing its head a little bit. Because, generally speaking, I think this is just as well written. it has the same sort of strong imagery. It has some really strong moments. I actually think that the main character of... He's not called Joshua. I keep calling him Joshua. Jason and Seth, and the side character of Kane as well, as a dynamic, is probably a more interesting dynamic overall than the dynamic of the characters in Pets for Legion. But there's just something where this doesn't quite hang right for me. And I think a little bit of that is like from the religious point of view. I'm very hit or miss with religious fiction. Again, because of my own personal belief system, so it's something I'm aware of. But there was just... It felt weighted wrong again in the world building department, and it's a bit of a hard thing to explain because I don't know if it's just I'm not getting some other references, possibly. But generally speaking, the concept was good, the writing was good. I love the cover as well. I think if you like horror, you will still enjoy this. I'd like to say it's not a bad read by any stretch of the imagination. It just didn't hit the same way as Pets for Legion did for me. But that is very much a non-stop book about just a whole chase all the way through with an absolutely bonkers ending. The other thing as well is the ending of this makes complete sense, and I don't like it. So, but that's just me. That's just my preference. And again, I don't know why I don't like it, because it makes complete sense for the story and the character of the different groups as well. But it just didn't click for me in the way I wanted it to. So, but again, it's a good book. So it does still get a 4 stars. It was a 3.5 rounded up. Is worth checking out though. It's only just under 300 pages. So that's that one. Another audiobook, Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. I love T. Kingfisher's stuff. This is a romantasy, which I didn't know when I grabbed it with my credit for the month. And a part of the reason, it was actually pure luck, because when I went book shopping this month, where is it? Last time I went to a bookshop earlier this month with Noah, and I didn't buy a book. I was really, really good. Hello, Luna. How are you doing? How's life? How's things? So I saw a book by T. Kingfisher, and then I went back with somebody else a few days later and bought the book anyway. And that book is Clockwork Boys. That side. That's up in the way. Very, very pretty. Does have a little bit of detailing on the actual hardcover itself as well, which is nice. And when I got to the oh god, I'm killing the thing there. When I got back to when I went to pay for it, the clerk was actually saying that it's actually set in. They just finished reading it and how good it was, and said it was set in the same world as Paladin's Grace and the books in that series, because then they've now been released in paperback. And I was literally just starting Paladin's Grace at the time, so. Providence? I think so. This is... I know, right? I'm trying to be good. Trying to be good. If you ignore the Indie Narrate sale, I was pretty good last month. If you include the Indie Narrate sale, then I really wasn't. I think once Dark Stars books arrived that she's very kindly sold to me, I think that's 200 books I've either bought, picked up, or been given since January. My doctor agrees that this is an issue and a coping mechanism that my bank account is not coping with. So there we go. But Paladin's Grace is a relatively low tier fantasy in terms of the story. You have the paladin called Stephen, and basically him and a number of other paladins, their god, died a few years previously, and they're all therefore occasionally go into basically a berserker rage, and slightly more uncontrolled than it was previously, which can go horribly wrong. And he does go into a berserker rage later on in this book, to hilarious results as well, is worth saying. Probably in his 40s, and then he meets, whilst doing like his daily rounds, he meets a perfumer who is like a master perfumer who's like escaping the local religious nut jobs that are currently the preferred religious group in the city, and they are instructed to make a special perfume for a visiting dignitary, who then ends up being poisoned. They end up being the suspect. But you also have the romantic entanglement between the two, and you get this sense of these two characters who are they just want to get on with their life. They are not interested in being caught in world-changing politics. The paladin, Stephen, just wants to do his job, go home and knit socks. And the I can't remember what her name is. That's how good I am. Grace. Clues in the name, innit? Grace just wants to continue making perfumes and just get better and better and better at that. And they slowly but surely fall for each other, and you have this will they, won't they. You have Stephen being really, really worried that he's going to go mental at some point and kill everybody, including her. But this is low tier, and this falls under comfy fantasy as well. This is a low tier, feel good fantasy, and there are gruesome moments in here. Like there's a murderer going around town chopping off heads, and you find the answer to that, and the answer to that is creepy as hell, I've got to say. You're listening while you're setting up the second screen. I need to rearrange my office corner. Yeah, I need to sort my second screen out, which is why I've got too many things on my page. So, bagels. I like bagels. And I'm glad you're back home as well, and everything else went well. So, I need to do washing. I'll do it tomorrow. Sorry, it's not going anywhere. Again, I think I gave this 3.75. No, gave that 4 as well. I can't remember any of my scores. Really, really good. Joel Richards as well does an amazing job with the narration of really selling the feelings of the characters. So, like, Grace in particular is very, very nervous, very much like, oh no, sort of. As everything starts to crumble around her and all the different reveals happen. I'm not normally a fan of cozy fantasy. I am going to check out the next one in the series, though. I think it's a trilogy. I could be wrong. It might be 4 books actually, and I'm pretty sure each of the books follows a different member of the Paladins group. So interested for that. And the last one is one that I really should have read a lot earlier. Don't really like that cover though. Let's find the cover that I do like. Wrath of Olympus by E.M. Kukula. So this is set in 2044, but this is divergent history, which always fascinates me. So the idea of this is, what if the Roman Empire never fell? And then carried forward some of those religious beliefs from previous times. Then you throw in the fact that those beliefs are actually real. The gods do exist. The monsters do exist. The law surrounding them does as well. But also, by extension, all the gods from the other pantheons also exist. So you do have Egyptian gods are in here. You have mention of the Greek gods, the former pagan gods of Britain as well, or Britannia as it would be here, are also sort of alluded to but not included in this one. I believe they come in later on in other books in the series. And we're following I can't see her name. That's Maya. She's called Maya. A character called Maya, an orphan who is basically being mistreated by their mistress in their house in Britain. And you very much have... There's a weird technical stagnation that has gone on. So it feels like it's just hitting the Steam revolution, but in 2044, which I suppose makes sense because magic is kind of thinning out in the world. Because magic, generally speaking, comes from divine blood, and the divine bloodline has been watered down. And you don't really need technology to blow things up if you can fireball people. That's wizard's logic right there from D&D. So you're beginning to hit like an industrial revolution. So you've got this sort of crossover, and then you have a number of different empires sort of surrounding this Roman Empire. And Britannia is a colony that is still subservient but does have its own king. You have nods to King Arthur law in here as well. You have bits and pieces of actual Roman law. And you have this idea of this character who's basically being protected by the gods, or a specific god, and we don't know why. And the god decrees that they are to be trained to become potentially a ship. Certain mages get transferred into ships. They actually become part of the ship itself. They get a ship body. They can live for hundreds of years. But they have no potential. They don't have any magical ability that they're aware of. And then suddenly it becomes clear that there's something about their past that nobody knows about that is going to be a major, major problem. And I think this is just a fascinating book. It came out in 2024. And it's book 1 in a series. And I think this is the shortest book as well. I thought there was 4 books. Maybe the 4th one's not out yet. But that's annoying me because I was sure there was 4 books. But I really, really, really did like this. I am going to read... Oh, there is 4 books. There we go. I am going to read the rest of them because it does a really good job of setting up the next book. Also, Roman Empire was very static in societal terms. They had everything for an industrial revolution, 1st century AD, but due to the Roman society works, there was nothing to kickstart it. That is a fair point. And that stagnation does seem to continue, but it also seems to have continued around the world as well. So, like, I presume it's Scandinavia. Well, it is Scandinavia where it's based. And actually, what it does do, which I really like, is at the start of the book, it has like a glossary of place names in the book and their real world locations now. So some of them are really obvious. So you have London, which obviously historically was Londinium and is now London. But you have these references to all these different groups and what they actually refer to either in historical terms or current. It's a fascinating book to read. I read it in a couple of days. It's only 260 pages, did I say? 245. So a nice quick read. Again, I think it's the shortest of the series from just glancing through. That's 369. I had a feeling there was one that was about 500. I might have been imagining things. Maybe it's just I've looked at something wrong. I had it in my head that the other books were longer. Either that or I've looked at physical versions. But I highly, highly, highly recommend Wrath of Olympus. Ow! I keep getting cramp and I don't like it. This is a sign of old age. Boadicea series. Is it Boadicea or Boudica? There we go. There's a question for the chat while I fail miserably. Ow. Oh, I'm getting too old. Right. But yeah, that's my reads for the month anyway. So 8 books in total. I mean, understandably. That really, really hurts. Okay. I'm just going to go stand over here for a minute and scream for a moment. Just bear with me. Yeah. I swear to God, I need a new pair of legs. I'm spending too much time on bloody feet. Jesus. Oh. Honestly. This is because I do 20,000 steps a day in work. And I don't like it anymore. I'm too old and fat for this. Ugh. Right. So, that can all go away now. My God. Right, vanish. No, don't press that button. Press that button. Okay. No! I'm getting cramp. I've not had cramp for ages. Like, I used to get it as a kid when I was... Well, when I was younger. Obviously, I was younger when I was a kid. We will see. I'm just going to stick my leg out in front of me and hope it works. So that's what I've read this month. Not a great reading month in terms of quantity, really. Although I did audiobook more than normal. So it kind of thingies out. But I did... Still 8 books. So can't really complain at that. So in terms of my reads for the year, I'm behind on page count. but my page count doesn't take into account the audiobooks, if that makes sense. And I'm ahead on my audiobooks anyway. And I'm about 9 books ahead of my target. The target's shorter. So, that's all that. That can go away now. In terms of channel stuff, because Elaine's not here to shout at me for numbers, so we're going to look at numbers while it's in my head, because I did them just before I started. So I had the target at the start of the year. I can't remember what my targets were. I've forgotten. But I had targets, and this month, you're going to tell... Mother's going to watch later. Unless you message her now and tell her, but she's not going to shout too much, because the numbers are actually quite good. So, it has been a slow month, because I've not been doing lives. So that affects a couple of bits. But this time last year, I also didn't do lives, so it actually fits quite well. 782 views this April, which is 6% increase on last year. Last year was under 500. Watch time is where the big increase came in. 23 hours last year, just under 69, which is nice. 69 this year, 68.9 to be precise, which is a 200% increase in watch time. A lot of that is going to be driven by... I've started playing about with premieres a little bit, see how they affect things. They do. So if you don't premiere videos, premiere a couple a month. So, and subs not including Noah, who is the lead sub. Gained 10 last month. It's been a very weird month actually for subs, because it's been up and down all month. Not like that. But 10, it was 6 last year. So 4 more. So a 66.6 increase. There we go. And impressions, I have no idea what impressions are, but sod it, it was up 115%. So there we go. 9 videos this year versus 11 last year. 1 reading wrap up, 1 update, 1 author interview, 1 book reading, which was for Whispers of the Storm, which my review of that has gone over 100 views, and 5-star book. If you like fantasy, go and read it. As well, it's one I read the month before, but it's fine. I was late getting my thingy up for it. 2 book tags, 3 reviews. Why is the NHS texting me? So overall, in terms of numbers, a good month. See, super quick. In terms of next month, I can't tell you all the stuff for next month. So what I am going to do, though, is hope that I've remembered to save something. Where's it gone? I can't do it like that, can I? So, if you don't know who this person is, you absolutely should. Where's the channel thing gone? There we go. So, this is Jessica. And that's not how you copy and paste things, you absolute turnip. Do it this way. Jessica over at This Kiwi 03. And I can't tell you exactly what I'm doing. What I am going to say, if you haven't checked out Jessica's channel already, please do so and say hi from me, first of all. But secondly, go and take a look at their playlist called Read the Beats. And that will give you a little clue about something that well, it won't give you a clue, it'll tell you what I'm doing this month. But I can't tell you the exact details of that. I know what they are on my side. I don't know on theirs, but that's a collab I'm doing this month. So there's that. So that's going to account for some of my TBR. So let's try not to cramp up again. Now, I did start writing notes. Well, there you go. That's my notes for last month, if anyone could read my nonsense. I actually hit most of the things I actually wanted to. Oh, I didn't read that. Whoops. Never mind. But Cool and I have bums. Is there something you want to tell us, Noah? You can tell us. We won't judge you. Anyway. Bless him. So, we're going into May. Sorry, the wrong one. That's my last month's list, sorry. So, on top of the books I'm reading for my thing with Jessica. What a massive wriggly burn thing. Oh, did you go outside? All you have to do is go outside with your gingerness and you just set on fire, so. So I've already mentioned one. I will be reading Spectral Solutions Elemental this month. Which I will probably read in a day. I've just realised it's got, I don't know why I didn't realise this before, it does actually have shout outs in the back for other authors as well, which I love that. Including the old stratagem as well. So there we go. I've not read Flux, however. I might have to check that one out. Anyway, I'm getting distracted, so I'll be reading that this month. The other one I will hopefully get to this month is this little beauty. I say little beauty. Jesus. Stop it! The Tainted Khan by Taran Matharu. So this came a couple of days ago. It's a new release. 580 pages. It's a chonker, but why does it have 2 maps? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is that different? Wait. It might not be that many, because that might be a printing error. That's weird. Okay. So, I am baffled. Right. Hang on. Nobody's looking at your bums, Noah. Okay? Calm down. So. Oh, okay. So, I've just noticed there's a tear on my front page. Oh, I did not notice that. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but... So, it's actually torn there, which I did not know. Hey, Elaine. You come in just after I finished talking about YouTube numbers, so I'm probably safe. But it also has another copy of the map. And then another copy of the map. Which doesn't seem to have any differences on it. That is very peculiar. And it also has a copy of the map at the back, I think, as well. Just to confuse things even more. Yeah, it does, because it's actually on the hardcover at the back. That's really weird. I hope it's not going to get doubled up pages, because that will... It doesn't take much to confuse. How long are the chapters are 4 pages long again? No! Right. That annoyed me last time. Okay. I am a paragon of virtue. Okay. I always do the good things. So I'll be reading that this month. Also, it is worth noting that the UK cover is much better than the US one. The US cover's shit. No, it is a fibber, you're right. Go there for now. Deal with it later. I'll be reading that this month. And then I also have a... what's the word I'm looking for? I've not got it yet. It's a... pre-order for another indie book, and it's called The Queen of Vaughan, which I'll get tomorrow on ebook by Charlotte Goodwin, and it's going to be, I think it's a trilogy. So those I'm definitely going to be reading this month, plus whatever else I'm reading for the thing I cannot really speak about. And then I have the audio books. So I'm currently listening to The Envoys of War by Dave Lawson, which I'm enjoying quite a bit. Again, it's another indie. It's an indie audio book as well, which is a new one for me. It feels very northern, which is not a criticism at all. I don't know if that's just because of the narration, but if you've seen clips of like Kingdom Come Deliverance, the video game, it very much has that feel to it. So, yeah, listening to that at the moment. I'm about a quarter of the way through, maybe. I've not had much time to listen this week. So I'll be listening to that, and then I might start the Dragon Reborn. Might. So that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that 8 books? 3, 6, yeah. So that's 8 books planned. And I'm sure there's one that I've forgotten about. But never mind. So, what's everyone else reading this month? I'm unusual. I've got to be organised this month because I have no free time. Which we might as well touch on that now. We talk about mental health on here occasionally, from time to time. Because, as I have mentioned before, I am not the most mentally stable egg in the packet a lot of the time. Anyone who's known me for any amount of time will know this. I do suffer from significant levels of anxiety, stress, and depression. Part of that due to work, but generally speaking, work is fine. It's just an irritation most of the time. Almost with Elementals, happy days. I assume you're enjoying it. It sounded like you were earlier when I spoke to you. I don't know if we're supposed to be stable. I think I'm not as stable as I should be at the moment. So, whilst I have been incredibly organised, and I have already recorded all my tag videos for May, and my book reading for May, which is going to be Whispers of the Storm, I have become aware that I am beginning to lose that centre of stability that I normally have. For a couple of different reasons, which I'm not going to go into on here. A few people are aware of this, although I've had a better day today. It looks like something I've tried to do has actually paid off. So, I probably won't be hitting any lives this month. Well, on my own channel, I should say. Largely because of time. Where I work, the other person of my position is on paternity leave for the next month because we get 4 weeks in our company, which is better than the national average. So as a result of this, I don't get any holiday time this month, which means my hours are going to be higher than normal. So I won't have the time, energy, or patience potentially for lives. I am going to be appearing on Elaine's channel on, when did we say? Did we say the 13th? I've written it down, but I've not got my book in front of me. It's either the 12th or the 13th. I'm going to be over on Elaine's channel where we'll be talking about double standards, which I'm going to flip that slightly because actually, thinking about it more, it actually hits more along trope talk as well. Because I have some opinions that may get me lynched. But we'll get there on not my channel because I don't need everyone to come after me. Did we say Monday? Okay, no, I can't remember. But yeah, so I am, after today, because I've not started yet, I will be medicated for anxiety again. It's been a while. But I think it's important to recognise when you're beginning to have those wobbles and being able to talk about it. I was very, very lucky that I went and spoke to the doctor. I'm going back into talking therapy a little bit. Generally speaking, I'm fine, and this will pass. And I know my own mind well enough to take these precautions. And that's all these are. These are precautions. So that's why I might not be in as many chats. I've not been in any chats anyway for the last month, really. But I will not be as active necessarily in people's comment sections because just time. I've just not got time this month to watch as much as I want to and comment and catch the lives or do lives myself. So just wanted to throw that in here as well. Also, I have a D&D game to plan for, which Noah's running at the end of the month. And I cannot play a D&D game without breaking something. So I will be medicated on Monday. Although by the time we meet, it's a nighttime. It's a nighttime tablet because it doubles as a sedative, which means I might get more than 4 hours sleep. Also, the doctor thinks I may have a problem with book buying. I can't imagine why. But as I don't really drink and I don't do anything else, it's not a particularly problematic problem to have. But yeah, we're doing D&D at the end of the month as well, which will not be recorded because we cannot put our group online because we'll get arrested. Um, 4 hours sleep's a problem, but buying 200 books in 4 months is a problem. Like, I cannot read that many. Had a massive crash downstairs. No, no. You pushed me to the 200, I think, but no, no. The narrates indie sale was was kind of the thing that pushed me over a little bit, but there we go. So, with all that being said, I want to talk a bit of D&D now, because Noah has let me build a character. So, I'm going to do the character sheet on here. That can disappear, I don't need that up now. I have... Look, I have issues. Right, I don't want that either. I want... Where do I keep things? So, as you all know... No, actually. Normally I'd pull Noah in for story time. In D&D games, I like to break things, mainly because people say things to me like, you can't break this, it's not possible. And then I do things like this. Let's see if we can get this to catch. So, yeah, I was going to say you can't say anything. So let's change the window capture to... Why won't you find the one that I want you to find? There we go. Let's see. Oh, I've just realised the chat's actually up. I didn't actually want the chat on screen today. Oops. Right, let's pull... Let's do that. So this is the sort of thing that I do on a regular basis to break Noah. And Noah may or may not recognise this character. This is a vampire character that I built. And if anyone can say that name successfully, great, because I've no idea where I came up with it from. But we're going to get rid of all this. Yes, Noah remembers this character. This character was introduced after my other character blew up a city at level 2, which I was also told was impossible. And it killed everyone, including the giants that ran it, and turned them into an undead zombie horde. So this was my replacement character. We built a barbarian fighter that had thieves' abilities. And, yeah, that was fun. But that isn't the actual sheet that I want. I want... Where's the flipping thing gone? A normal person would keep all this stuff in a sensible place. And I have not. What's that? Is that a blank? Nope, that's not it either. That's just a printable sheet. God damn it. You see, I should have done all this earlier. Is it that one? Nope, that's another character that Noah doesn't like. This is Nico. You remember Nico? I remember Nico. Nico broke D&D Hogwarts. But also not the one that I actually want. You didn't adore Nico at the time. You haven't ran a game actually since that. He was very much, please, sir. I can't do anything. Nope, that's another D&D game. I have so many characters. It could have been worse. I could have been who's Nick Klaus? That's your character. Okay. Why can't I find my basic sheet? Like, genuinely, what have I done with it? It's slightly worrying because I actually had it saved somewhere. And I don't know why. So, because it's not as complicated as it looks. Because I like to break things, and because Noah is so used to me being what's that? I don't know who that is. That one will do. We can repurpose this one, maybe. Are you not changeable? No? Oh. Okay, you're not changeable apparently. I did do it and not save it, which is really annoying because normally I save it and I can't. I know I saved it and I can't find where I saved it. Which is really annoying to me. And then we have Midget Gem. Midget Gem is the first character that I ever played in D&D. Disappear my name before people see it. Do all that in a bit. No, it didn't auto-save to the cloud, unfortunately. That would have been sensible. Midget Gem and Noah's character, who was a barbarian, got stuck down a well for 25 minutes. I can't even remember why we went down the well in the first place. Right, I need to... The zoom button. Well, let me zoom in. That's a little bit irritating, but okay. Why is that showing bigger? Nah! No. No. Oh, wait. There's a plus button. Okay. So, because Noah is used to me playing violent types on a regular basis, I have decided to play a pacifist. So, I'm building a character. Well, technically, and this is an interesting bit of thing, so I was actually a halfling, and I didn't actually pick anything about my class for that. First ever game, and the Dungeon Master decided all my... Not everyone else's, just mine. Everything was decided by dice rolls, so my class, my race... Unfortunately, he did let me pick my own subclass when we reached level 3, which he regretted almost instantly when he tried to get me killed by giant spiders and hadn't actually read what my class could do. That was fun. So, well, that can all go away. We don't care about any of that. So, I have all my books near me, and this is actually what I'm quite pleased that Elaine's here for. Because I'm actually going to be doing this using my D&D books, of which I have many. And we're going to be building today... I don't know. I mean, not quite like that. And we're going to be building a hobgoblin today. Because I want to break Noah's game. So I will need a hobgoblin name for my character by the end of it. And I am building a peace cleric. And I bet I can't find it now. Ben doesn't have character. So... First things first, I need to decide what my stats are. So, in D&D, there's different ways of doing it, but 14, 13, 12, 10. But they are your standard starting stat numbers. And you put them wherever you want to put them. Which, because I'm building a cleric, we want to have high wisdom. We probably want high constitution normally. But we're not doing that because I've actually changed my character a little bit. Nicole has one in her book that was just finished. Cool. I like hobgoblins because they're incredibly broken, and we will see why shortly. I'm going to take 13 constitution, and then, because Noah's not going to disagree with me, I'm going to take, instead of taking a 12, 10, and 8, I'm going to take 10, 10, and 10 in those stats. So, an average stat would be an 8. And because we are a cleric... We get, I think it's wisdom and charisma saving throws if memory serves, but I might need to change that. I've kept the same numbers, don't worry. I've just taken the 12 and turned it to a 10, and taken the 8 and turned it to a 10. I did clear this with you beforehand. There's different types of hobgoblins. So hobgoblins are medium-sized humanoids / goblinoids. So, about the same size as a person. So, and then at level 1, we get a +2 and a +1 to our stat of choice. So, we're going to put +2 into wisdom and +1 into constitution because that's our health. And you start at level 1 as a cleric with 8 hit points plus your constitution modifier. And your modifier goes up by 1 plus 1 for every 2 points above 10, or drops 1 for every minus 2 points below. No worries, Jenny. Hope you have a great rest of the day. So that becomes a +2. That becomes a +3. No, not +32. Jesus. So that means I will have 10 hit points at level 1. And I believe we're going to be level 9. So, because I'm really nice to Noah, the average hit points for a cleric is 5 per level up. So that's another 40. That takes us 50 plus 16. That puts me on 66 hit points. So, there we go. Fun times. And because Noah is a fool, he has let me take a feat called Skilled, which gives me 3 skill proficiencies on top of what I'm basically going to get. And these are your skills down here. So, this is probably not very exciting to anyone, by the way. I'm aware of that, but this allows me to slowly but surely traumatize Noah as I go through this. I can't remember what the proficiency guide is. So, you did. You said we were going to be level 9. You told us this. Which means proficiency bonus is +4 as well, just on a side point. So, and on top of that, yes, you did. And then I'm going to be taking a +2 at level 4, which gets that to 19, and skill expert, which takes that to 20, which gives me a +5. Hey, Kada, how you doing? How's life? How's things? What you up to? We're at probably the most boring part of the video for anyone. We're building a D&D character to wreck Noah's game in a few weeks' time. So, that'll be fun. Actually, while it's in my head, what do clerics actually get? Just to double check. I normally use a website for this, but the website is full of ads. So, you said yes to all of this. Just on a side point. Just so you know. So we're building a cleric. We're building a holy warrior. So, oops. So this is some of the artwork from the book. So we're going to be level 9, which means I have... Here we go. Oh, this is where the fun really starts. Life is lifing, but overall I'm doing good. Can't complain. That is good to hear. I know I said earlier, I'm not really in lives very much at the moment, so I keep missing everybody. Which makes me very, very sad. So skilled, and we're going to take 3 skill position, and we're going to take skill expert as well. That's not how caps lock works, Ben. Come on. Which gives me 1 prof, 1 expertise. Okay. So we're going to take... Oh my god, there's so much book. Where's the background? 125. This is the most fun I have in D&D as well, building characters to wreck Noah's day. Just so everybody is aware of this. So many beeps. All that can go away. So, I want to be an acolyte, which gives me insight and religion. Where's religion? That's there. And insight is there. And because I'm a cleric, I'm going to take persuasion. Yes, I have small hands like my wingspan would be. Hey, Alan, how are you doing, buddy? How's life? How's things? What you up to? No, I don't want that. Oh, well, we'll go take that anyway. 1, 2. Where's religion? There. No, religion, persuasion, insight. We're going to take history as well. Good, good. We're building a D&D character now. We've done all the bookish talk. So I'm just killing time and building a character to wreck a D&D game. where I play a pacifist. So there we go. That's not how you spell XP. Oh, Jesus. And then, because I get another 3 skills, we're going to take... I'm a priest, so I think deception makes sense. I think I've taken persuasion. We're going to take perception, and I think medicine makes sense as well. So we're going to take all those, and then I'm going to get another one, which I think we will take... Oh yeah, I'm playing an evangelical priest in D&D at the end of the month. So probably performance actually makes sense. And then I am going to... I get +4 plus that. And all these are linked to one of these scores. So because I have 10, I don't have any bonus to those 3. I have a +2 in charisma, and I have a +2 in that, and a +5 in wisdom, because I am very wise. And that needs to stop doing that. So that can go down there for a minute. So, what did I want to do? I want to have expertise in... We'll take expertise in religion, because that makes sense. So that doubles my bonus. No, we don't. No, we don't. We want it in insight, because we need to be able to con people. And I need to be able to read their things. So, that's enough up here. That doesn't get a bonus. That gets me +5. So what this means is when I roll the dice for an animal handling check, whatever I roll, I add 5 to it. That's it, basically. That's a 0. That's a 0. Deception would be a +6 because I have proficiency in it. That'd be +4 because I've got proficiency in it. Insight, I want expertise, which means +13. Noah, I hope you're paying attention. +2 because I can get stuff with that. We're not interested in that. +9, 0, +9, +6, not +64, Jesus. Even I wouldn't do that to anyone. +4, 0, 0, +5. So Noah already hates me because I have a passive perception, so I notice everything around me. This is why he doesn't like me building characters. And then we are a hobgoblin. And we are a peace domain cleric. Acolyte background. Chaotic good. Probably chaotic good. My initiative is ±0. I have 30 feet of movement per 6 seconds. And right now my armor class is 10. And this is where it gets really fun because he's let me have magical items. So, oh, and also I can speak... I can speak common, goblin, and celestial. Because I'm a priest, so that makes sense. Does it look alright so far, Noah? So, and then I will have a mace, which I will, in fact, no, I won't. I'll have a quarterstaff, which I can use one-handed, which has an attack bonus of +4, but 1d8 bludgeoning damage. There we go. And then I'm going to be a mage, so realistically, all this other stuff needs to disappear. There you go. That gives you an idea of how I write my story. So my first ever character, this is the story I wrote straight off the back. He was trained as a juggler in his early years. One fateful evening, a slip when juggling blades for a local lord led to one of the daggers striking through the throat of the heir to the barony. Jem, who was the character's name at the time, escaped the cells prior to his summary execution and fled town, adopting the ways of a ranger and a new name of Midget Jem to throw off pursuit. I have been really good this time because normally this is all basic stuff that I've done so far. Right, so spell save DC is 8 plus proficiency plus that, so it's 5, 9, 17 for spell save and +9 for spell attack bonus. So that'll be fun. That can all disappear because I don't want any of that right now because it's all wrong. And I think it's 4, 3, 3, 3, 1, if I remember correctly, for spell progression. I will double check that later. Away from here. So we'll get rid of that character. That's all disappeared. And I will build an actual personality trait around that. Personality trait is a true believer in all peaceful approaches. In a peaceful approach. Jesus, I can't type. For all situations. Yeah, we don't play as often as we want to. We are going to do an online game at some point, aren't we, Noah? Noah doesn't think his things through. This is me behaving because this character is not going to hit anybody. So, he's also let me have magical items, and he said yes to all of the ones I asked for. So, strength, I don't have a bonus. Don't have a bonus to that. Constitution, I have a +4. Saves. All these are saves, so sometimes you might get affected by something in game. So, for example, if you want to convince... No. If someone casts a spell on you to charm you, you need to resist it. It'll be linked to one of these. Or if someone wants to grapple you or something like that. So, that's a 0. Then my wisdom gets a +9 because I have a +5 from my score. And a +4 for proficiency. And a +6 to charisma saves as well. So, very difficult to charm. What did you actually let me have, Noah? Oh, wait, hang on. Hang on. I think I saved my notes, which might be a terrible thing to do. Nope, that's not it. I thought I'd saved my notes. I did save my notes. So, I have a shield. Right, where's my equipment? 2,000 gold he's given me as well, which I've also not spent yet. The fool. Actually, no, I will say I've spent 500 gold. There we go. I'll be nice. He doesn't know why. So, quarterstaff, mace, shield, and that's actually going to be a breastplate. So, because I've bought a breastplate. And it's actually a gleaming breastplate as well. So actually, I haven't spent money. Because you let me have that for free. So I have armor that constantly is clean. Which is nice. That gives me a +5 to my armor class. And then I also have a shield. Oops. And I have a sentinel shield as well, because Noah's an idiot. That's not how you spell sentinel. So that adds another 2, so that gives me an armor class of 17, which is quite low, to be honest. So they've got to roll 17 to hit me. But that's fine, because the sentinel shield gives me advantage on perception checks. And we cannot be surprised. So nobody can sneak up on us. Thanks for that, Noah. And then... Oh, we did get that right. Woohoo, I did figure my AC out wrong, though. Okay, that all makes sense. Oh, I've changed my strength score. That's why. Hope the dentist goes alright, buddy. I hate the dentist. So, things that I have that Noah doesn't like. Let's put them in here. First off, we have emboldening peace because I'm a peace cleric. Emboldening peace. So this is that's how can I not spell? Right, I can go over there. I've got to concentrate now. So This lasts for 10 minutes. Proficiency times per day. And this is a +4 to saves. To saves. Jesus Christ. Saves. Attack rolls and ability checks for 10 minutes to anyone I choose in 30 feet. That's number one that's going to break things. And then a second effect of that is anyone affected I can teleport to them and take the damage if they get attacked. My God. What? There we go. There we go. Okay. And I also have protective bond. No, I've just done that. Channel divinity. Because I am a cleric. Divinity. So we have turn / destroy undead. Oh, I get this twice a day. I think it's a CR. CR1's what gets destroyed. Actually, let's do it this way. There we go. Dune in June. We'll have to watch that soon. I have not watched the new June movies yet or read the books. So that's fun. And then I also get Balm of Peace. This is an action. Move up to my speed, which is 30 feet. No opportunity attack. That's not how you spell opportunity, but never mind. No opportunity attack. Creatures I choose that I move bollocks within 5 feet of gain 2d6 plus 5 healing. So lots of healing. And plus, I also get plus oh no, I'll put that in there actually, because it won't really be a thing. Plus wisdom. That's not how you spell wisdom. That's not. It says it on the screen. Come on. Score to cantrip damage. It's a bit of a non-issue for me because I'm not planning on hitting people. But there we go. And then I have a load of stuff from being a hobgoblin, which I'm not going to put all that here, but I basically can heal people constantly. But what Noah really, really likes is the spell list. Don't you, Noah? So we get guidance. So I can add anyone I choose can add D4s to anything that they want. Mending, so nothing breaks. Thaumaturgy, which will allow me to project my voice or make fire effects or stuff like that. And word of radiance if people come too close to me, because I don't like people. People are horrible. So, which word of radiance? Word. We'll just put word in there, and that's 2d6 plus 5, and that's a DC 17. That's 17 for a save. Okay. What else did you give me? Because I've not written everything down. Oh, you're going to make me go and look for it. You're going to make me go look for it, aren't you? But Oh yeah, I do this for multiple people before we play as well. A lot of this I've already planned out, to be fair. So that can all go away. Don't care about any of that. I'll build a backstory at a later date. So we're taking Sanctuary. We're taking Healing Word. We're taking... Is Aid level 1 or level 2? I feel like Aid is level 1 and Heroism is level 2. Yeah, just as an idea, Elaine. This is the older book. There's a new one that's just come out. This is book 1. This is the player's handbook. And then I have another 7 books with information in. And pretty art. To be fair, there's some cracking art. Like, that's not a very good version of the art, actually. Hang on. That's the good ones. Which book has the best artwork in, Noah? Like, I have full, like, built up. Like, we've got, I had to have a full map of this, which I do need to run a game of this at some point. So, like, the Witchlight Carnival and stuff. But yeah, this is how I spend my time. And then Noah has to deal with it later. So, I need to read the book. I bought the book and then didn't read the book. Spell list, page 207. These books are about £35 a time as well, on a side point. Right, this isn't going to be the full spell list, but there we go. Aid is level 2. Okay. So, we want Bane, because I don't believe in Bless. And we want Command. And we want Detect Magic. Level 2. Level 2, we want Aid. Oh no. Because that will give people more health. We want... Where's Heroism? Oh no, that's no good. Prayer of Healing, because that makes sense. Because more healing for everybody. Lesser Restoration. Restoration. And this is an incredibly peaceful character. Enhance ability. And blindness / deafness, my favourite spell in the game. Which has gone horribly, horribly wrong for other people many times. Spell magic. I haven't got the full spell list in front of me, which is annoying me. Mass Healing Word. Basically, this character is designed to stop people dying. So Noah won't be able to kill anybody. Basically. Oh, we'll take Spirit Guardians as well. Because if someone gets too close to me, my god will intervene. It's about Guardians? Probably not. And this is a character that will break his game. So, Banishment. Divination. And then level 5, we want... I'm assuming you're not going to let me have Commune Noah somehow. Which... Take... Oh, bollocks. Mass Cure Runes. Which I probably don't need. Hallow. And Greater Restoration. Restoration. And Hallow, because I want to be able to create Holy Ground wherever I go. Even if it takes me 24 hours. So, that is a character that is going to completely break Noah's game. In fact, we'll take Freedom of Movement. There we go. So, that's the basics. I do need to write a short story for my character, which would go in back to backstory. So, I need a name. What shall I call my hobgoblin? This is what I would like to know, and we're level 9. So, we'll call them X for now. Harold works for me. Okie dokie. So, let's see. So, I like to play an orphan in games. Cobrot the Menace. I'm not a menace, I'm very peaceful. I have taken no attacking spells, which is scaring him even more. Well, fuck off. It's all I'm saying to that one, Elaine. Harold was left on the steps of the temple. What was the name of the god, Noah? Can you remember? Eldath wants it. Eldath. Noah, I need the name of a forest in your world, please. Do not say Sherwood. Fine, Eldath. In the Tamlin Forest. Please, someone come up with a better fucking name than that. Tamlin Forest. At the age of 5. He was shown to be divinely favoured. At a young age. Fence Nora, no. It's called the Tamlin Forest now. To be fair, the Tamlin Forest does work. To be fair, I'm sure it's filled with frisky werewolves. Knowing what you're like, who should be divinely favoured at a young age, and quickly rose up to become a leading member of the clergy, heading the temple. I shall adjust tot his. Okay. What is the name of the town that I'm travelling from? Temple in. Over a number of years, his devotion to Eldath led to him. Okay, well, that's fine. I can do it later. It's being put in charge of helping to transport. That's not how you spell transport, Jesus. Transport a dangerous. It's alright. There's no rush. A dangerous prisoner for judgment. Their crime being swapping their consciousness. This is me writing other people's stories as well. That's not how you spell consciousness, Jesus. That's nowhere even near consciousness. Into a synthetic body. The journey begins with the temple. With what's my name? Harold, the temple scribe. Harold, the temple scribe. The head of the temple guard. And the prisoner. Setting off on the journey to the trial. Which, this is me accidentally writing part of Noah's story for him as well, but I'm sure he won't mind. So there we go. That's my character's basic backstory. Which will lead to a thing you favour me becoming a murder hobo at some point. So, there we go. Now, I do have other things that he's given me. He's given me, and I think it's in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. He's also given me something that he really shouldn't have done. Where's magic items in here? This is the one with magic items, right? Magic mushrooms, that's always fun. Magical phenomena. No, I want magic items. Where are the magic items? There's magic items. Guardian emblem. There we go. One last thing to add, and then I will stop, because I realise this is not necessarily fascinating to everybody. I have a guardian emblem, because no one's forgotten what this does. That's not how you spell emblem either. What does that actually do? 3 charges. Charges that we do every day. Can cancel crits within 30 feet. Oh, that's a reaction. No. Oh, what else could it do? Oh, that's all that one can do. That's okay. There we go. Nice and easy. So, it's even harder. Yes, you did. You did make me swear. I feel very disappointed. So, I think that's the majority of the character. I think. I do need to add my hobgoblin skills in there, but I will do that later. But now I have £2,000 to spend, so I'm going to go away now and find all the things I can spend £2,000 on. Well, that'd be fun. Save. Save as, right. Wait, hang on. I hadn't changed the name. Oh. Well, that's slightly annoying. I had actually saved it all. Okay, well, never mind. There's the rest of it. I found the original one. Oh, Fortune of the Many. That's the other thing that I have. Okay. Oh, I did miss stuff on my... Okay. Haha. Right, that can... We can change a few things on here. I'm going to change all that in a minute, because now I've figured out that I have actually got the thing. I just hadn't saved it properly. That was a waste of time, wasn't it? I already had it all. Never mind. You've just seen some of the panic that I induce Noah with on a daily basis, though. But I think that's it, because that's been an hour and 45 minutes, which is longer than I expected to go. What I want to know before I wander off, though, is... I know what some people are reading, but what is everyone else doing going into this weekend? So, I know we've got tea time on Saturday for a chat about... Is it Saturday or is it Friday? For Wheel of Time, for those of us that are doing the buddy read. So, that's going to be fun. I have my full review for Bound for Blood going up tomorrow. And I will be recording over the weekend for my review for the old stratagem as well. So, lots of stuff. But what's everyone else up to? Saturday's Wheel Tea. Okay, I thought it was. Reading and productivity sprints as I have a short story translation deadline. Very nice. When is that, on Saturday? Friday? I'm feeling like... I have seen it. I can't remember dates for anything. So. Also, once again, if you have not checked out... Why have I not given you a spanner? Now, that's... Right, hang on. A spanner for you. There we go. Don't know why I've not given you one before. That's a bizarre choice. You now have a spanner, Luna, as a moderator. So, there we go. I thought I'd given you one before, and I hadn't, apparently. A bit of an oversight on my point. Elaine is probably burying the person who keeps using a leaf blower, so we know what Elaine's doing. Noah is reading something around the house. I can't remember what it's called. Some horror book involving around the house. He's also given me a load of stickers today. So 100 pages to finish. I've got so far to go. That's one of the videos he's given me today. Not videos, stickers. along with a full pack of them, which I've not opened yet. So 100 pages. Now it's on Saturday. There we go. There's a link for Lunar Sprints on Saturday. Fucking hell, on Saturday. For anyone that's free. Elaine, is it 100 pages? Because you seem to have told me you have 100 pages left on multiple books recently, and it's felt like all those books actually had 400 pages on them. So, oh, there we go. Sunday sprints as well. I will sadly be in work on Sunday. I may be childed out as well on Saturday. We'll have to wait and see. So, but what is the name of the book that Noah's reading? He's wandered off now, and I can't remember what it's called. It's Josh Malerman. Incidents Around the House is what it's called. There we go. I know that's what Noah's reading at the moment. Which I'm looking forward to seeing his thoughts on that, because the writing style is different. It's very much appears to be from the point of view of a child with all the potential issues thereof. So very, very curious. But yeah, and I'm reading, as I've said, I'm reading a book that I can't talk about just yet, and I'm not going to be putting it on my Goodreads or my Storygraph either for the 3 books for the thing I'm doing with Kiwi. So I'm not putting them on my Storygraph or my Goodreads this month. It's going to be a complete surprise to you all when I actually do that, which means next month's stuff's going to be behind. Let's see, what else? What else have I actually got coming out this month? I mentioned that. Reading of Whisper of the Storm by ZB Steele is out on the 8th? That Thursday? Yeah. Is out on the 8th. Excited for that because I absolutely loved that book. And then I have 4 tags already recorded because I am being very organised. So we've already got the Dragon book tag out. That's already done, which Elaine created. That's a video from the other day. We have the... Jesus, here we go. The reread or not to reread book tag, the clean slate book tag, the pirate book tag, and the bookish elements book tag coming up this month. So that's going to be fun. There'll be a Wheel of Time video. There'll be reviews. I don't know how I'm going to have time to do all this, but some of it I've already done. So that is all good. But I think that's everything. I am going to go and finish that character sheet now that I've actually found my original one and swap things around that I've changed. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining me and putting up with me for the last hour and 45 minutes. I hope you all have a great rest of the evening, a great day tomorrow, and a great weekend as well. Stay safe. Read well. I will catch you all. Where's my button gone? There it is. I will catch you all very soon. Have a good evening, y'all.